Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to On the Mic with Mike, ESPN Richmond 106.1. It is the leading daily social enterprise business show. I'm Mike King, your host, and I appreciate you being here with me. We talk to the best and brightest. That's what I always say. We're here daily with you from 5 to 7 a.m. on ESPN 106.1, Mike King Biz Radio. So we talk to the best and brightest, and I mean, we go all over. There are times that we meet other folks, and then we're a family. So we bring in friends of the family. I'm out there talking. I'm just a humble talk show host. And I talk to my good friends over at the Friendship Circle. Dana is there, Dr. Sarah, and they're talking about some of the great things that they do. And they say, if you really want to know who's making things happen, what's happening in the street, because I always ask people, hey, what's the street saying? What's happening out there? And they say, you got to talk to our dynamic young leaders. With us today, we have Marissa and we have Sophia. You guys are part of, okay, give it to me. The name of the board is?
The Friendship Circle of Virginia Inclusive Teen Leadership Board.
I wasn't touching that one because I would have left the part out there. Okay, so Marissa, both you guys are seniors at Patrick Henry. We're here today talking about the cool things. I always thought the Friendship Circle was an outstanding organization, but I talked to the adults. So now we really want to know what's happening. Tell folks about Friendship Circle, and then we'll talk about it. First, Marissa, you can lead us off.
Okay, well, as you guys know, Friendship Circle is an organization that's geared towards children, young adults, teens with and without disabilities. So it all revolves around making friendships. And what our teen board really does is give other teens resources to help make those connections. And we also plan different projects to help out Friendship Circle. And, during this pandemic, we've been doing a lot of virtual work and finding ways to connect all of our teen volunteers and find ways to support each other and find ways to also support our friends with disabilities.
Alrighty, so Sophia, when people think about Friendship Circle, it's the friendship part. That's what we always talk about, and that was the part for me that was so. So if a family has a child with disabilities, it's the medical part that you hear about. Okay, but when Dr. Sarah told me about the friendship part, I'm like, because we all need friends. Let's talk a little bit about your involvement, how you came to find out about the organization, and what you get from being working with them.
Yes, well, I actually came to find out about Friendship Circle Virginia via Marissa. We were in Spanish class once, and she began discussing about her involvement in this nonprofit organization, and I just clicked with the purpose of this organization, right? So I began asking her more and more about it, some more background information, and really getting informed regarding the purpose and what the organization strives to do in the community. And I was hooked immediately. And so she pretty much got me into this virtual program, which is Friends at Home, where we meet weekly with a child with disabilities. And there we create this amazing friendship, this amazing connection where we pretty much talk about anything. We do games, we play games, we dance, we do math. And pretty much this is how I got my foot in the door. And via that, I really wanted to get involved more. And she got me informed about the Teen Leadership Board. And this is pretty much how I applied and became the secretary as well.
Okay, so old folks like me, we never thought that this Zoom thing would work. So, Marissa, I remember in the past, you guys would, Friendship Circle, you would go to a person's home and it was all done in person. But this Zoom thing kind of works. You guys still can have an impact in people's lives, and we didn't think about it until we were forced to. So let's talk a little bit about what's that like when you guys pop up and you're having a Zoom session and everyone's having a good time. What's it feel like?
I think it's one of the most beautiful things in the world that we can have during this pandemic when all of our experiences are limited. I think you have this, beautiful community And over time, I think people get to know each other, and you find yourself looking forward to these events and seeing people. And it's so cool to just know all these facts about people and be able to say, hey, like, how was that? How was it? How was it seeing your grandma last weekend? Oh, like, what are you doing today? Like, it's so normal. It creates an environment where I guess sometimes you don't even notice that other people have disabilities because no one's really thinking about that. Everyone's just thinking about having, a friend, and that's what's important.
Man, you guys are mature. Lordy, I'm trying to think when I was. Never mind. I'm not even gonna go with that one. When I was in high school, I didn't talk like you guys. So Marissa, so you're in Spanish class and you meet Sophia and you tell her, hey, I got this really cool group that I'm part of. How did you become part of the group?
Well, it's a funny story. I believe it was like after a week that I had moved to Virginia. I came here from Idaho about 2 years ago. I think after a week of being here, I heard about it through one of my mom's high school friends, Leah Paley, who lives out here. And, I reached out to Sarah and Dana, and I went to my first event, and it was
They
just
had you
life
at hello.
changing.
They had you.
Yeah. And it was just beautiful. And then I joined the teen board and ran for treasurer. And then a year after that, ran for president. And then now I'm joining the adult board. So it's just been so beautiful. I've loved every minute of it, and I look
It
forward to many more
it is
years.
something that when you look at, you guys are young and you believe the world can be a better place. Let's talk a little bit about, so you both are graduating this year. No one will ever wonder how what happened with the graduating class of 2021. We'll all know the last 2 years how things have been. Let's talk a little bit about what life has been like, because I always ask the young people, like, what are the streets saying? How are you guys making it out there? Sophia, we can start with you.
Well, these past 2 years haven't been that bad actually. It actually having an organization. I actually also work for work. I'm involved with the CKG, with the Cameron Gallagher Foundation. I'm actually starting a Cameron Gallagher Foundation Speak Up Club at Patrick Henry High School. That will start next year. So having all the opportunity to work with all of these different organizations that have such an impactful and amazing purpose and message really has helped me to get through this past school year as well as the ending of my junior year. So it has given me something to do, something to look forward to, and therefore I really felt like I was doing something purposeful whilst in the midst of a global pandemic where everything just pretty much comes to a halt. So yeah, I've been living pretty good here, handling out everything, but yeah, it's been a pretty good ride so far.
Okay. How about you, Marissa?
Yeah, I really agree with Sophia. I think there's two ways of looking at the pandemic. I think you can see it as a really boring time, or you can see it as a time to reflect on what you care about. And, I think Friendship Circle helps people who are, considered neurotypical just as much as people with disabilities, because it's just brought so much meaning to my life during this pandemic. And it's just been so beautiful to connect with people who have such pure souls. A lot of people say that disabilities, there's some intellectual component that isn't there, but I feel that I've just been able to learn from these people with disabilities a new perspective on the world. And I think it's something I'll keep with me, because I think we all got a glimpse into what it feels like to be someone who has a disability, and maybe not see a friend every day, or maybe just not be there in the classroom all the time. So it was really eye-opening. I think it was just, a time to be more introspective and also look out and see what's really going on in the world.
One of the things, so I talk to a lot of people every day, uh, and we always ask them, what gives you hope? So, Sophia, talk to me about what gives you hope out there. Because it's you guys are the young guys. You guys got to give us, when you get to a certain age, you're like, oh, this world. But you guys are looking at it. How? What gives you hope?
Well, it is really easy to have a negative mentality, especially with the circumstances that we live in. But kind of going off of what Marissa was saying, being in an organization, taking part in an organization that has such an amazing message, that gives you hope to contribute to the future, especially that we're working with children with disabilities. We're showing them kindness and it's being reciprocated to us, and showing us that we can really work towards something that will better our community and our society as a whole. And so that is truly giving me hope that there exist organizations such as Friendship Circle that can give us teens the ability to impact the generations ahead.
Okay, great. That's outstanding. All right, Marissa, you're up. What gives
Well,
you hope?
I read the news a lot, and there's not a lot of hope in that. I think people tend to focus on all the negative things going on. But if people just took a second, a whole day maybe, just to focus on what Friendship Circle is doing around the world, I think it would change people's perspective just a little bit. I think that the compassion and empathy in Friendship Circle gives me hope because, in our world, it should be normal that you just interact with people with disabilities normally. But unfortunately, that's not how it is. And I think that the work that Friendship Circle is doing gives me hope because I know personally the work that Sarah and Dana have done is being passed on to another generation, a new generation of leaders who have witnessed at a young age how important this is. So I really have a lot of hope through this whole disability advocacy movement and the normalization of friendships between people with and without disabilities.
Let me ask you about the board that you guys are on. Do you see a difference between the board that you guys are on and the groups who are community minded as opposed to teens as a whole? Are you guys different when you're in school compared to the other team? I mean, you haven't been in school for, it's been a minute. We can just say that. But do you see a difference between the kids and the young people who were serving on boards and the general population, they would say?
I think with Friendship Circle, at least, I've noticed by getting to know people on our teen board, I think everyone has a higher than normal level of compassion and empathy and awareness. I think the teens on this board would be more likely to stand up if they saw someone bullying or just, go to an adult. I think they're teens who I think in general tend to treat people just the way they want to be treated because they they know it on such a fundamental level.
How about you, Sophia?
Well, the people who are in the Teen Leadership Board, you can really tell how driven and passionate they are. The group emphasizes the attributes that Marissa was just talking about, the empathy, the compassion, and standing up for what one believes in. And so it is really amazing to see how being in a group that is so driven and so passionate about a topic such as, disability advocacy, can impact the other individuals and make them even more driven. And spreading the message can also contribute to make the community more passionate regarding the topic as well, and just kind of informing the community as well.
Okay, I gotta ask you guys: were you always I don't want to call you guys do-gooders or the kind-hearted individuals? Were you always that one in the family? Or were you?
You could go first, Sophia.
Okay, thank you. Well, I am coming from Italy here to the United States about 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. I was in a pretty small environment, small family. It was just me and my mother. Now it's me, my mother, and my stepfather here in America. So comparing to my mother, I'm much more driven regarding these ideas, such as advocacy, whether that is teen mental health advocacy or disability advocacy, just because I'm surrounded by an environment that facilitates this passion of mine. So I guess that also in Italy, I was kind of like that, like a do-gooder that you were talking about, Mike. But but yeah, it's just the environment that I'm in facilitates my passion and just kind of running after my what I believe in.
Okay. Marissa, have you
Yeah,
always
I
been that person?
you're right. Like Sophia and I were what you would call goody goodies, but I mean, I think in my family, my mom was a special ed teacher. So I kind of grew up understanding, how to treat all people, especially people with disabilities. And I think I guess I've always been that way, a little bit more sensitive to what's going on in that regards. And I don't know. I feel like parts of me have always been this way, and I think it's kind of a common trait of everyone on the board. They're all driven in some way or another, and it's really cool because sometimes you wonder, oh my gosh, who's going to be like leading this world? Like, is the world just going to be on fire in a few years? But you see some people and you see those traits early out, and like you were mentioning earlier, it gives us hope.
That's good. So we got Sophia, Marissa here from the name of the board, ladies. Somebody give it to me.
Okay. Friendship Circle of Virginia Inclusive Teen Leadership Board.
Okay, and how can people find out more information about the board and the organization?
Well, you could check out our Instagram. We have a teen board Instagram, Project Friendship _VA. We also have a website, and we also have an event coming up too. So
Oh,
you
wait,
should
wait,
come to
wait,
that.
wait a second. Hold on now. The way the program works, you just can't tell me we're having an event coming up. You got to tell me what the event is. You got to let the people know.
Well, this is really exciting.
Okay, hold on a
So
second. See this? We
yeah,
we
I'm
don't
so
really have a budget, but that's
yeah,
okay.
I'm so excited about it because I've missed Friendship Circle events way too much. But we're having an in-person event. We haven't had one in about a year, I think a little over a year, and it's going to be about a mile walk, and there's going to be all sorts of activities. It's great for the families, snow cones. There's going to be jugglers, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's in Bird Park this Sunday, and you can go register online.
Okay. We're okay. We got to go online. And where do we go to online?
So you can go to FCVA walkandroll.com.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so Sophia, you brought up CKG. Let's talk about this whole mindfulness. Look at her smiling. She's like, "Yeah, I can talk about this." So, let's talk a little bit about the whole mindfulness and the meaning of CKG and all the great things that I know, but we want to let the listeners know about the great things that Cameron Gallagher Foundation does.
Absolutely. So for the people that do not know what the CKG is, it stands for the Cameron Gallagher Foundation. And it is a nonprofit organization that strives to break the stigma that surrounds teen mental health and provides resources for teens to explore the topics of teen mental health and depression and anxieties, topics such as these that impact teens more than people could ever really know. It's there's statistic that it's like 1 in 3 teens suffer from depression or anxiety, and it is just incredible how impactful it is to teen mental health is. And it is important that the Cameron Gallagher Foundation exists in our community, but it also exists in other states. Don't get me wrong, it exists in Florida and in other states which I do not remember. But it really brings up the topic, shines a light on it, so that people are informed regarding it, and so that we can break the stigma once and for all.
There you go. So, both of you guys recently moved to Richmond. Let's talk about coming here as a teen. What's it like, and what do you think of Richmond as people move into it as a community? How was it when you came here, Marissa? We'll start with you. Coming from
Okay.
Idaho.
Oh dear. Well, it's always hard when you move. I moved here right before my junior year, so right away I was thinking, oh my gosh, like how am I going to make friends? But it just turned out to be a great opportunity to become more extroverted and just, learn how to talk to any type of person. I felt like, this community was really welcoming. Um, there's definitely more to do than there is in Idaho, which was cool just to see, there's options of what to do. Because, where I lived in Idaho, it was a bit of a bubble. It was a great place, but I guess coming to Richmond, see, it really showed this is like the real world. This is everything that's going on.
There you go. So, okay. So, how about you, Sophia?
Well, when I first came to America, besides being, it was a huge culture shock. Like, don't even get me started on the entire, the entirety of the cultural differences that exist between America and Italy. But yeah, that was the main factor. And the Richmond community is overall very welcoming and very accepting, diverse. Um, so yeah, I mean, I felt it is also a very inclusive community, especially with organizations such as the CKG and the Friendship Circle, that recruit teens so that it can feel like an inclusive community. So yeah, I mean, I adapted over the course of these 4, almost 5 years pretty well. We've integrated myself in the community. It hasn't been that bad, but also Marissa has just said, I mean, Italy, the place where I lived in, it's a little town in the island of Sicily, and it's like it's a bubble, so once I arrived to this brand new world, it has opened my eyes to what the world is really like, and it has been an incredible experience for me and really a life lesson moving to America.
Alrighty. Hey, we got these fine ladies from the Friendship Circle. They are the teen board and the great work that they're doing. Shout out to you ladies for that. Shout out to Dr. Sarah, Dana, and all the good folks over there who are out there making it happen. Where you guys got to the disability world early on, I didn't, and I would think that a lot of people don't have that much access to it. I looked at people different. So when we moved to remove to, like you said, we lived in a college town. A college town is just a bubble. It's not real life. Now, it's everybody's having a good time. They're going to school. All the things that the real world does not have to offer. And we moved to the phase-on residence. So 20% of the people who live in our building have autism, and that's when I really started to see you. You don't see people for the disability. You see people for who they are, and that was an eye-opening experience. Meet up with Dr. Sarah. Next thing you know, here I am talking to you ladies. So when we talk about the disability world, we can go back to the events that you had. So the last year or so, things have been locked down. You guys have some of the programs that you have are new. Like the writing program is new, I think. That was something that I had never heard of when Sarah came before. Let's talk about the different ways that you guys engage your buddies, partners, or whatever you guys call them. What do you guys call each other? Your friend? Oh, never mind. What's the name of the organization? It's Friendship
Well,
Circle.
I think we usually refer to them as friends or buddies.
Okay.
I think that's the best term we use, because I mean that's what it really becomes. It really becomes just like they're your friend.
Okay, I got that. Okay, so you have the event that's coming up this week. Super excited for that. It's been a long time, you guys. So what's the world look like to you guys now that the world's open up? You're gonna have an event in person. It's like woohoo!
It's so exciting. I guess for such a long time, right when I got to Virginia, Friendship Circle had just been part of my life. Like it was just so normal. Like, okay, every month, like I have an event to go to. And it was just so exciting. And it changed a lot when everything became virtual. And it was still fun, of course, but it's so cool to just be able to go back, because when you're in person and like you actually witness, this pure joy from people, it's one of the most special things in the world. I think it's, people always say like, what's the meaning of life? But Friendship Circle does know what the meaning of life is, and it's to do pure good. I think that's the purest form of good you could do.
Okay, well that I'm not gonna
Sorry to
say
get
that.
philosophical.
That's what, that's what we come here for, and that's why when I talked to Dana, I wanted to talk to you guys because what she had said, the work that you guys are doing is outstanding. Kudos to you. A lot of times people don't get it when younger folks are talking about things that are happening. you guys give us hope and, setting the trend for what's happening going forward. But I appreciate what you're doing. Thanks for coming on. So Sophia, you're graduating. What's next for you?
Well, I am going to attend the College of William and Mary in the
Okay.
fall. So that there is where I will spend the next 4 years of my life studying.
And what are you going to study there? Uh-oh, did she freeze up? Uh-oh. There you go. Alrighty, Marissa. So
Oh.
we're, thank you guys for coming on. Really appreciate it. So you're part of the family now. Make sure you let them know, stop back. You guys stop back and let us know, how the event went, what you guys are doing, and if there's ever anything that we can do it on the mic with Mike, we'll let you know, let us know, and we'll go ahead and get you on. But kudos to you, and thank you to you and Sophia. On the mic with Mike, we bring you the best business program around. We lost Sophia. She we got so excited here, she got stuck in time.
I know, it's just so hard to believe.
Okay, so she just dropped. That is true. So that is, what happens now. You guys got to come in person, and we'll do this over at ESPN, ESPN 106.1 on the mic with Mike. We got Marissa who's here. Sophia, we'll catch.
There she is.
There she is. Wait, she's coming back.
She can withstand anything.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Okay, so Sophia is back. That's what happens with technology. Okay, so we got to give the shout outs and goodbyes. You want to shout out anybody, your friends, anybody? Let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to first shout out my mother, Julie Varzak, who's a former special ed teacher who has taught me basically everything I know about people with disabilities, and Dr. Sarah Krantz-Ment and Dana Zed, who have just been incredible in propelling Friendship Circle.
Alrighty. Sophia, how about you with the shout outs?
Well, I would like to shout out the little boy with disabilities that we meet with weekly, Ganesha. He's one of the joys of my life. He has taught me so much how to be a more compassionate, passionate, empathetic person, individual in general. And for this reason, I owe it a lot to him because he has taught me so much over this past year on how to be a better person.
On the mic with Mike, we'd like to give you guys shout out to your parents and your people there. What they put in you guys and what you guys are is outstanding. We got to run. So on the mic with Mike, that's who we are. Sophia is here. Marissa is here. I'd like to say thanks to you guys. Alrighty. Tell everyone I said hello over Friendship Circle and CKG. Alrighty. Take care, ladies.
Will do.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.